There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit ComicShopLocator.com to find a store near you.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Miss Jen, and you're watching us on The Experience. Why The Experience, you say? Because we want you to experience what it's like to be in the know about everything comic books all the time and never miss a single thing. And part of that is knowing what's coming up to your local comic shop on Wednesdays. If you want to find a local comic shop, you can find it on ComicShopLocator.com using zip code. If you're on vacation, you can do the same thing. Super useful in that way. And if you hear about a comic book today that you really, really want added to your pull list, use that and your phone to totally call them up after this interview so that you can make sure to get it, because this is, I have a feeling you're going to want to have this one. Please welcome to The Experience our friend Joe Corallo.
Hello.
Hello. Am I saying your name correctly?
Yes, you got it. You got it.
My name's Jen King, and people still mess it up. So I was it's one of those things that's easy to do. Okay, so you've done a lot of our favorite stuff, like Deadbeats from Wave Blue World. And you've done, let me see what my other favorites are, like Mine, which is a very important work.
Yeah.
And you said Destroy from Vault.
Yep.
I feel like you have to say that really loud.
Yeah, no, it's I hear you on that.
And Kim and Kim.
Yes, I was the editor on the third volume, and hopefully we'll get to do more. So the door's still open for that if we can figure out how to make it work. So
I think it's a very popular title from them. So I have a feeling that we will have to have more adventures. All right, so there were some questions I had about books that may not be at comic shops that are near people, that they might have to poke them about. Tell me about the Seeds of Eden from TKO, because TKO is a little bit, it's not through Diamond, so your local comic shop has to get it directly from them.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, this was a short, it's a 14-pager. I co-wrote with Liana Kangas, and we really lucked out in getting Paul Azuceta to do the art for this. This was billed as their first short they did. They have a whole shorts line. I think their second wave of shorts launched, so I think they have about 6 available now.
Okay.
But we're number 1 in terms of release. Paul, the timing worked out perfectly. He was wrapping up what he was doing on Outcast, and we were able to get him in between him jumping to his next big project. We all had, all 3 of us, Liana, Paul, and myself, are big into like 70s science fiction, and this was kind of our like ode to 70s science fiction.
Oh, that's wonderful. Science fiction, there's something about it, right? Because we look at science fiction as a look to our future, because for a lot of science fiction, that has happened. Like we thought it was ridiculous that we might have a flip thing that came out that we could talk to each other far, far away. And of course, we ended up with flip phones. Now that seems like antiquated, right? That was Star Trek stuff. Did you put out any ideas in that issue that you think haven't happened yet but might?
Yeah, I mean, there's some of the things we did do that we put out there that you never know were kind of that goes a bit more into the horror element. So don't want to spoil too much, but there is this is definitely also leans into stuff like Alien, which was one of all 3 of our favorite movies. So while that 2001 things like that, there's definitely elements of that in there. So yeah, I think we lean into some stuff, and we add little nice touches of things like a champagne glass sort of just materializing, and things like that. So there's some fun stuff in there. I think in between the horrific.
Did you slip any Easter eggs in there that were alien related?
I think so. I think there's some design elements and things like that you might be able to catch. Also, a little bit of, I don't know if this was intentional or not, but another big 70s sci-fi thing I really enjoy is the original Mobile Suit Gundam. And some of the design of the ship they're in is like those like cylinder colonies that they had in Gundam. So there's little bits throughout, you know.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. I'm going to have to pick it up because I didn't get it the first time around. So it sounds exactly like my kind of thing.
Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm. And then something else I saw that I did not know existed. This Nightmare Kills Fascists.
Fascists? Yeah, that was I want to say that was the first major anthology that A Wave Blue World was involved in that was kickstarted, because that was edited by Matt Miner and Eric Palicki. And that was before they started doing the ones directly through A Wave Blue World, because then they also did All We Ever Wanted and Maybe Someday, which I think are all those anthologies along with Deadbeats are available, I believe, through A Wave Blue World's store. And I think you can also order them through Diamond as well. But yeah, that was a fun one. That was I have a 10-pager in there that had to do a lot with fracking, sort of. It's a bit like The Thing or like, stuff like that, but with fracking involved, like fracking unleashing an ancient evil kind of thing. So
okay, so describe fracking to me, because I'm going to tell you, I live in Texas, and fracking to me is an oil field term. So
oh yeah, no, this is like the idea being the fracking is, instead of oil, you're basically drilling for like natural gas. And there's been a lot of instances where it's contaminated the water supplies. It's caused I don't think that all the science is out yet, but there's been heavy correlations between a high density of fracking fields and earthquakes in certain areas and things like that. So there's a lot of issues that result in that. So I kind of wanted to delve into that and kind of be, just also that's a bit of a trope in digging deep, going down deep enough, whether you're going down deep into a cave or something like that. So that kind of idea.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'm going to show you all my oil knowledge, which isn't hardly any.
It's okay.
Fracking, you push down, like fracking mud. It's just like mud that's made to like be pushed down into these big formations. They find the cracks, and it fills up those, and then it cracks the formation apart, which then allows for oil to seep up and get pumped out to the surface. So that's why they think that, like the cracking of all of that natural stuff, like releases things to cross-contaminate. Not that the fracking mud itself is bad, because there's nothing in it, but that it also weakens the formations that might result in earthquakes, which happened in the Dallas area, and that was right after they started heavily fracking there. So I totally get you. Yeah. It's like people have learned something today. They're like, I did not want to know that about oil. Thanks.
Yeah. Well.
But you don't know, on Jeopardy this week, there could be a fracking question.
Absolutely.
And you'll fracking know it. It's true.
It's not just a substitute for a swear word in Battlestar Galactica.
No. I'm sure everyone in the oil field was like, what?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. All right. And the other thing that it wasn't on my radar before, Lost on Planet Earth.
Yeah, I had edited that again with Mags, and Claudia Aguirre was the artist and colorist on that. And that was through Comixology Originals, which is going to be available as a graphic novel through Dark Horse.
Ooh.
So that was a lot of fun. That was a bit more of a slice of life, Star Trek inspired kind of book. That's basically about what do people do if they don't join Starfleet, kind of thing.
Yeah, I've always kind of wondered that. Everyone seems super ready to join Starfleet and work for no money. Yeah. But I guess you don't need any if everything that you need can be just like made with pushing a button.
Yeah. So.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I like those kinds of thoughts. Like also they kind of talk about it a little bit. Did you watch The Expanse or read The Expanse books?
I haven't, no. But...
Ooh, I highly recommend them if you like any of those kind of ideas, because they're the society that they formed. Basically, Earth, if you can be on basic, and it doesn't allow for like any extravagances, but they've figured out a way to have people either work because they want to, or not work, and find ways. I guess there must be just creative instead, like enjoy art or something.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like a bad negative connotation in that universe. So.
Yeah.
All right, so I just want to also mention to everybody on The Experience, that this is a fully interactive show. So you should throw up all of your thoughts and questions up into the chat bar. Because I see Tim Harris said hi, Jen. I said hi. And Hannah said, I went to follow Joe on Twitter, but she already does.
Well, great.
Surprise! All right, but what we're really here to get all hyped about is Bekstar. I want to know about Bekstar. This is Mad Cave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's been great working with them. They actually reached out to me because they were fans of She Said Destroy. So I started talking with them about that. They had this sci-fi idea they wanted to do, and basically brought me in to work out the details of the idea, flesh out the outline, trim a lot of things, because they had this concept that involved a lot. And so I kind of went in and, cut what I thought needed to be cut and flesh out things, change things around, change character names and things like that. It wasn't originally called Bekstar, so I worked on that. And then, we looked for an artist, and we found Lorenzo, who was through the he had just won the Platforms anthology contest that had just been going on when we were looking for this, so a little less than a year ago. And he was just sort of perfect for what we were looking for. And yeah, we worked on designs for all the different characters, the ships. Lorenzo's been great to work with. He does all the colors too. All the art is through him. I had reached out to Melanie Ujimori, who did the lettering for She Said Destroy, but she wasn't lettering at the time. I don't know if she's doing it again or not. And suggested Joe McGill, who I was already familiar with, and that was easy. Got Jemette on the project, and she's a fantastic letterer. And we talked about potential cover artists. There were two named, from Mad Cave, and we both sort of agreed. I said Sweeney, and she was able to do it, which was great. I worked with Sweeney, kind of, because she was in Deadbeats, and did the story with Nadia Shamas. So I already had like a working sort of relationship with Sweeney that way. And we also did Hibachi with a group at like Emerald City Comic Con a couple of years ago. So yeah,
How much fun is that?
Yeah, so that was nice. But yeah, it's very much in that like kind of like space Indiana Jones kind of thing. There's elements of stuff like, Cowboy Bebop. I put a lot of elements of like Blade Runner and things like that into it. And yeah, it's really been a lot of fun. It's been a very, I don't mean to say easy as in no challenges or anything like that in terms of like I do push myself when I write these things, I develop these ideas, but it's been easy insofar as we were able to come up with the clear vision early on, and it's just been that's the thing that there haven't really been any stumbling blocks. It was just one of those things where it's like, okay, I can work on this, get this in. It's all been smooth sailing on this. This is easily one of the most smooth projects in terms of just getting the ideas out there, getting the scripts done, getting the art in. It's been a fantastic experience for that.
It is interesting that for the comic book industry specifically, that the way that creative process works, was completely unaffected by COVID because most people work together without ever meeting each other normally.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy too. Even before everyone was just on Zoom meetings all the time, I've talked to creators who've never met in person, the people they were working with, like, or, they met, years after, something like that. Like Richard Case on Doom Patrol with Grant Morrison. Grant was in, Scotland at the time, had a few expensive long distance phone calls with them, and that was most of it.
All right, we have a cool comment from Samuel F.S.
Sure.
Says, love Joe's talks with Perch and his Saturday mornings appearances on Comics Aficionados. Love your take on the Heckfire Gala recently.
No, thank you. Yeah, no, I enjoy doing that stuff. I'm a big fan of comics, and yeah, it's all interesting stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on in a lot of the books right now, like the gala and all of that, and the different ways these things are approached. But
So I've got a crazy question, since I know now that we're both Aliens fans.
Shoot.
So is it Alien that you are the most fond of, the more horror bent one?
Yeah, no, I prefer Alien. Aliens is great. I love Aliens, but I also feel that way about the Terminator franchise. For me, the first Terminator is the best Terminator. It's more of a horror movie. Terminator 2, again, is more of an action movie. Same thing with Aliens. And I like action movies, but just establishing how powerful the alien was really necessary. You don't have an Aliens without Alien in that sort of way, and just all the world building involved, and it's a lot more suspenseful when you're watching a movie where it's like there's this alien that we don't understand, we don't know anything about it. I think sometimes you look back and you watch some things and you're like, oh well, this is better for this, and it's like, well, you went into Aliens already knowing they have acid blood. You knew all these things going in. So there's, and you're just learning more and more. The more you learn about things like the xenomorphs, the less scary and interesting they get. But that original, they had no idea what the hell this is. It bursts out of its chest. It's growing. What is this thing? That's incredible. And there are few things that beat when the aliens in the background coming down on the chains behind, was it Harry Dean Stanton? Yeah, that kind of stuff. And so little beats that. But yeah, and it's again, it's more suspenseful because it's like, okay, we've got a wrench and a flamethrower. What are we gonna do? As opposed to in Aliens, where it's like you have this whole military sort of operation, machine guns, this and that, and they're taking out a bunch of aliens pretty easily. I still really like that movie a lot. It's my second favorite movie in the franchise. Paul Reiser in that is excellent.
Love to hate him.
Yeah. The thing I wish they did in Alien 3 was if he came back at the end.
Oh man!
That right before Sigourney Weaver, Ripley commits suicide there. If he was there, and it was him kind of manipulating everything still, because you never see him die in Aliens, and that would have been, I think that would have really elevated the film a lot to see something like that.
Or you could pop him into 4 at the beginning also.
You could have popped him in the beginning of 4, yeah. There were some missed opportunities here and there, and obviously it's for all sorts of different reasons. This is where you get into a lot of problems where you have different directors and writers in different movies, and it's hard to have that level of cohesion that you'd like for something like that. But for me, none of that takes away from the impact, in particular, the first 2 Alien movies.
It's so rare for me to meet another person that even likes Alien 3, and I'm obsessed with that film because The Rock just killed it. There's so much good acting in that film.
Oh yeah, no, Alien 3. Yeah, it gets it's unfair. I think how Alien 3 gets treated, especially with all the other ones they did after that. But I think what turned a lot of people off is right off the bat, having like Hicks and Newt dead.
Yeah.
I think that immediately lost a lot of favor with people, and you kind of have to get over that initial hump of like, I can't believe they did that at the start of this movie after you invested so much in them at the end of Aliens, that it's like, well, if you can get yourself to get over that, Alien 3 is really not that bad of a film. It's probably in the lower tier of like David Fincher movies, possibly. Like it's probably somewhere in the middle. I'd have to go back and rewatch a bunch of them, but yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. I enjoy it. I enjoy the alien based from like the dog that was more like dog like that. There was some really interesting stuff going on in it.
That kind of played back into my primal fear that I got from at age 13 watching John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah.
The dog in that like damaged my psyche. So that played on that really well. I was like, oh no, not again.
Absolutely. And also, it's got Paul McGann, and I'm always happy to see a Doctor Who alum in something. So that's always nice.
Oh my goodness gracious. All right. So Tim Harris says, I love how they wanted Ripley to pay for the ship she destroyed.
Yes. Well, I can't think of anything more relatable than something like that,
Yeah, about the bottom line. That's it.
Yeah, like that's great. That's that's great to do stuff like that.
I think it's funny that it's like not even really the military that wants the alien as a weapon. It's like the corporate guys.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I mean, and obviously, there are other franchises like Resident Evil mine heavily from that because it's basically the same plot. Mm-hmm. They just swap out xenomorphs with zombies, and it's the same thing.
Oh yeah. The one thing I will have to say about the killing of Newt and the Marine is that what I've learned from writers, and this, is like you kill what they love, and that moves the story forward. But in this case, it was too much killing what we love, probably.
Yeah, no, probably, yeah.
It was like that was the reason why we came to watch this movie.
Yeah, but and then there were other Alien movies that weren't called Alien, and then they called it Aliens again. Like, what a mess.
There's some of them I don't want to talk about, like Aliens in Colorado. Yeah. I was really hoping at some point they'd get to Earth War. It's one of the best novels ever that bring aliens to Earth in the right way.
There you go.
All right, so Bekstar, how many issues long is the series?
It's going to be 5. That's going to wrap up this arc, and then who knows? We'll see. I already know what I would do to continue it, so we'll see how things go. I think there's a lot here that would be interesting for people. So we'll see how it goes.
Matt Cave has done a really good job at doing short series and then doing more than one of them to keep people engaged. Give people a little breathing space. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, no, it's nice. It's nice to build up a little bit of demand. Get people excited to want to come back and dive into the world more.
Do you have any other books that are in the pike coming soon?
Yeah, I'm just wrapping up a 3rd issue on something that should be announced in the coming months. So
I won't tell anyone. You can tell us.
That's good. Yeah, no, but that's good. There's going to be a Deadbeats 2. That should be on Kickstarter in a couple of weeks or so.
Hannah's like going,
yeah, and we've got some, it's a lot of new people. There's some familiar faces that will show up in this, but it's a lot of new talent. New, not necessarily that this is their first project, although I think there are a couple of people or so who this is going to be like their first published work. But we've got a few surprises, a few seasoned vets in the industry that I'm excited to have had the opportunity to work with on it, because a lot of the scripts are already done and got a lot of art in. I actually got a DM as we're recording this of more art from the book. So, it's funny how that works. I'm editing an original graphic novel. Hopefully that'll be announced. That probably won't be announced till maybe the end of the year, beginning of next year, depending. And that's from 2 seasoned pros in the industry as well. So I'm looking forward to that coming out. Like I said, there could be some more stuff from Mad Cave in terms of, Bekstar could go some more. We'll see what happens, but yeah, and I'm talking with a few other publishers right now about some things. And I had a short in the back of Pat Shan's Destiny New York Volume 4. Okay. So if anyone, ordered that or got that off Kickstarter or something like that, I don't think it's shipped just yet, but
we're number 2 so far.
Yeah, but so that's good. And then I have I have a 4-pager in that Yule anthology that just funded on Kickstarter. So yeah, I've got some things, awesome. That should be sprinkled through here. Yeah, no, I'm trying. So, thank you.
Thank you so much, Joe, for joining me. I know that everybody that's watching or watches it in review will be like, I've got to add that to my poll.
Well, thank you. No, I really appreciate it. I think Bekstar, the way I handled it is I wanted every issue to feel like a compelling story in amongst itself. I wanted every issue to end with a strong enough hook to get you to get the next issue. Every issue has action. I think there's a lot there that I think people enjoy. I think people that like sensibilities of some older comics that, where a lot used to happen, as opposed to these very decompressed stories. This is a lot. These are dense books in terms of action and pacing and the plot, frantically pushing forward. So I hope that people give it a chance and enjoy that.
Perfect. For anybody that wants to know more about Bekstar, I will be doing a reading review for this tomorrow for Minute to Skim It on the Experience.
Okay.
Which you'll get firsthand nerd knowledge about whether it's got all the things that it needs, which it does.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Experience.
Thank you.